Hello, greetings. It's the second review of the year, Nosferatu I reviewed. I am sitting outside the cinema waiting to go in and see Wolfman. I have heard pretty much everyone say it's terrible. I've heard one review that was pretty good from Sin's Corner. She didn't say it was awesome, but she said it wasn't a bad movie. I like the look of it. I'm going to go watch it. We shall see. I shall let you know my thoughts in this horrible darkened environment when I come back out. So let's go see Wolfman. Okay folks, we're out. I apologise about the car noise, but it is fucking freezing and I need the car on to put the heater on. Apologies about the lighting. I know it's terrible, but what can you do? All you need to do is hear my dulcet tones. Not. So, I'm torn. There are aspects of the movie that I really enjoyed. So obviously, Wolfman story, full disclosure, I haven't seen the original Wolfman. I'm a disgrace. I need to watch it. So I don't know how it compares to the original with story, so I'm just taking it as it is on its own merit. Before I start, I must allude to Marty, Trashfire Cinema. Is this channel called Trashfire Cinema? Or is that just him and Jen? Anyway, Marty, I will link at the end his review for this. It's an audio review, but you have to hear it, it's funny. He refers to the main actor as Timu Mark Ruffalo. And when he contracts, whatever you want to call it, an attack of the Ron Perlmans. Now that made me really laugh when I listened to the review, and it made me laugh even more when I was watching it because he's spot on about so many things that he said. So, husband, wife, little girl goes to Oregon to spend the summer there. Their marriage is going through a little bit of difficulty. His father has been missing for a long time. Finally, it has come through that his father has been declared dead. He's a bit of an outdoorsman, very strict. We get a little bit of that at the beginning, flashing back to his life when he was a kid. His father was like a taskmaster, a hunter, very stern. But he was just trying to teach his kid to be able to look after himself. So he's gone missing, never to be seen again, and they go out to clear his house. So that's the premise. And on the way there is an accident, and that's where everything kicks off. So I won't give you any more premise. So what should I tell you what I liked or what I didn't? Let's start with what I didn't, so that we end on a positive. So the girl. Now, I have not looked up actors' names. I apologise. You can look that up for yourself. You don't need me telling you who directed it. Well, we know that Lee Winnell directed it, but so the little girl, I am assuming, looking at her is about 10. Marty said this, and he is spot on. She had the mentality of a 4-year-old at best. At one point, she didn't want to walk and had to be picked up and carried. Now, can you imagine most 10-year-olds being carried by their father? You'd be mortified. So she called him Dada a couple of times. Dada. Now I have a 13, almost 14-year-old. Dada. I don't think he called his father Dada after like the age of maybe 1. Very annoying, very irritating. If you find children in movies annoying, that girl is going to annoy the arse off you, because she did me. They either had to have that role as a very young child that you could sort of understand because they're not really capable of much, or a moody teenager. It had to be one or other. Unfortunately, it was a precocious 10-year-old that was a pain in the arse, that called her father Dada, that had to be picked up and be carried, and that just was a fucking, what is it they call it, a liability everywhere. She was just in it to cause situations that just irritate you. So that was annoying. I have no issue with the acting performances. I actually really like both actors that were in it, so that was fine. The storyline was really lacking. The script was a bit shit in places. Some of the lines made me actually, if I had have been with anyone else, I would have given them a nudge and been like, oh, for fuck's sake, and you would have rolled your eyes. So my main issue overall, the girl irritated me, but my main issue was that the script was really lacking and the storyline was terrible. As I say, I have not seen the original. I will sort that. So I don't know how it compares. Now, what I did like It shows aspects of how things are from the wolf's point of view, from the werewolf's point of view. So we see what they see. And there were some really interesting aspects of that. Obviously, I don't want to tell you any of that so that it spoils anything. But I really liked that. I thought that was... I haven't seen that in a werewolf movie before. I thought it was beautifully shot. It was in places very dark, as other people have said, quite dingy, very muted colours. But that did not bother me at all. I didn't mind that. I thought a kind of like a twist, if you want to put it that way, was just, you know, a 4-year-old could have seen that coming. Dada woman could have seen that coming. So that was no surprise or shocker. So the transformation scene, now it wasn't as standout a transformation or as obvious a transformation as you get in American Werewolf, which is my favourite transformation scene. There's a little dog. I'm so easily distracted by dogs, I can't help myself. The transformation scene, for what it's worth, for what it showed, I really liked. I loved that they put across the aspect of the pain of it, which also American Werewolf in London did. I loved some of the effects of his bones sort of moving under his skin. I thought that was really cool. Now in this, most werewolf movies I've watched, the person kind of like turns and turns back, but that's not the case here. He sort of like very gradually turns, then he turns, and he doesn't ever seem... I don't think, you know, when a werewolf dies he turns back like we say in Silver Bullet, for instance. So it's sort of like... was completely different to the lore that I'm used to. He didn't chop and change from man to werewolf. Once you change, that's it. And even if you've been killed, you don't go back. So somebody's just stopped right in front of my car like this. I don't know why. Yeah, so I like that aspect of it because it was something a bit different from what you usually see. It's sort of giving you the background of the person. You know the person. You suppose you sort of... To be honest, I didn't like the sort of like, before anything happened, the sort of family melodrama, the relationship. For instance, I found the daughter's behaviour a pain in the flipping arse. Example, her and her dad are walking along the road in a busy city, wherever they live. Well, just let's say it's New York, but it probably is. Everything always is. And she wants an ice cream, and he has said, you've already had hot chocolate, and they're having an argument, as you do. And she's walking along these plastic, quite, I don't know, maybe about 3 foot tall plastic things along the side of the road. And if she slipped off one, she was going to fall into traffic. So he shouted at her to get down, and she's ignored him 3 times. Only when he says, right, no ice cream in 3, 2, and she got off the thing. And he shouted at her and he says, you know, I told you to get down, it's dangerous, why did you not get down, why did you not listen to me? And she stood like, and he then, like, it's like a flashback to his father shouting at him and how he felt, and then he's apologising for treating her, talking to her like that. And I'm like, you fucking what? I bet, get down the hell out of that, you have a warm arse. I mean, you probably didn't understand a word I said, did you? If that had been my son, he would have been dragged off them fucking plastic things. Get the down off that now. There would have been no 3, 2, 1, no ice cream. And then apologising for being cross that your child had ignored you 3 times in a row when you'd asked them to do something. In what world of parenting is this normal? Certainly not in mine, what I had as a child. And I'm sorry, but it certainly would have not have been how I parented my child when they were that age. They would have got down off a thing, or they'd have been very sorry that they didn't. That does not mean I hit my child. I do not hit my child, but they would have been punished. There would have been no fucking PlayStation for a week. But I mean, in what world of parenting, if you're a parent out there, even if you're not, when you were a kid, if you barefaced ignored your father who told you to get off something multiple times, would your father have shouted at you and waggled a finger in your face? I think so. Because I certainly would have if Isaac was doing that. Anyway, that sort of thing really irked me. I wasn't buying the relationship between husband and wife. I think we were supposed to feel it was a really sweet relationship between the father and daughter, and I just thought she was a manipulative little cow that got everything that she wanted and switched on the like, da-da, just to get what she wanted, and I found it quite irritating. When it got into it, I wasn't too bad. I quite enjoyed most of the aspect of from that point. I will say it wasn't fantastic. Is it a film you need to see in the cinema? Most definitely not. I haven't waffled too long just yet. So yeah, I would come in at a... It's a hard one. I'm going to say 3 out of 5 because I really enjoyed the aspects of how we see from the wolf's point of view. I thought the special effects were really good. I didn't mention there are quite a few gory bits that did make me go, oh, that were really interesting. And I love the special effects, and I love when something makes me cringe. And there's a specific part in this, if you've seen it, I will say it's to do with like a dog scratching an itch. And it really made my, it was like, oh, that's fucking nasty, and you just almost could feel it, and I really like that. So for that reason, even though the storyline was lacking, I'm going to come in at a 3 out of 5. So I'm going to be re-watching Nosferatu 2024 because I'm very disappointed at what I felt about it. I watched the 22 version and the 79 version last night, and I am now going to re-watch the new one. I'm going to rank the 3. I have always said that the 1922 Nosferatu is my favourite vampire film. I think I need to change that now because I have rewatched it, and while I do still think it's very effective for its time, and there are particular scenes in the original Nosferatu that are incredible, there were aspects of things that I noticed that took me out of it a bit, and I would say, although I still hold it in high regard, maybe not quite as high a regard as I held it at one time. So I am going to rewatch the 2024 version, and we'll get back to you when I've done that. So that's it. Yeah, Wolfman, 3 out of 5, folks. Have you seen it? What did you think? Leave your comments below in the comments. And did the little girl annoy you? And would your parent have allowed you to barefaced ignore 3 instructions for your own good and your safety? Let me know below in the comments. Over and out from Lisa Lives.